When I was asked to talk about the new dart guns, I thought they are something I think is really wonderful for every cow calf operation. We do have a couple feedlots that go through us, and that is their main way of treating in the winter time or when they're full. Just they feel like it saves a lot of stress on their animals, and they're able to just treat everybody a little quicker. Their pens are so big that by the time they run something to the edge of the pen, run them up an alleyway, they've already would have had them darted. So, who here has a new dart gun? Is there anybody? Not many. Okay. Yeah. So there's a few different options. The main gun we sell is their pneumatic 178B. It's called. It's an air pump gun, and this is our gun that we bought on our farm. So before we bought this gun, we had the long bow, and we tried to. My husband was okay at it. When I took over pasture checking, I practiced with it and I practiced with it, and I went out and I shot the wrong animal, so that didn't work very well for me. So we were able to borrow this model from our neighbor. So there's practice dart that comes with these guns, and for me, I'm not comfortable with guns. I'm not good with a scope. They're very easy to use. They have an open sight, and I just found it a lot less intimidating than some of their other options for the time being. So as Tanya was saying earlier, we have dart sizes that go up to 10 cc's. Your dart length will be anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. At our store we stock 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch darts, and we stock everything that is available to us from 2 cc's to 10 cc's. So some of your drugs that you were talking about earlier, the 10 cc's is a pretty good option for treating your eye and hoof issues. So this gun is pretty easy to use. This is a practice dart, but this is what your darts look like. To fill your darts, they'll send this is your dart gun. When you buy a package of darts, they're going to come with a needle for filling your darts. So you'll pull out of a syringe with a long needle, and then you'll put your long needle inside of this dart to fill your dart up. So you're going to want your darts to be full with product, or else the plunder's not going to push the medicine out properly, and your dart's going to maybe wiggle when it's going through the air. So these darts are pretty simple to use. You just pull back this part here, and your dart slides in. You wiggle it in there, and you close your gun back up. On these dart guns is a safety, and that is located here. Red is ready to fire. That is safe. You will pump these guns based on the distance you want them to shoot. So if you've got quieter animals, you might only give it 3 or 4 pumps. You're generally not going to go more than 7, because you will blow some of the gaskets out of the inside of it. You can overpressure them, and then you've got some new parts you're going to need for this gun. Yeah, is there any questions on this gun? So that's your pneumatic gun. That guy runs about $810 here in Manitoba, I would say. It's your basic model. The next gun that we've got here, these are, use a blank charge for them. We've just started selling more of these guns the last year or so as people get more familiar with these dart guns. At the start, I had a lot of producers that just really like this gun, so we stuck with this gun. So this gun works a little bit different. Same idea, you can use any dart size from your 2cc to your 10. There's a clip in here that 5 power loads will go into. And I would say, now that I'm more familiar with guns, this would be a good option if you're treating multiple animals. In a situation where you've got an outbreak, maybe like pink eye or something. I found with this gun, when I was treating and had an outbreak, I spent lots of time filling darts and reloading, and then pumping that gun up again. It was just hard to figure out where to keep all my darts while I'm pumping this up and reloading. Whereas this, you could keep them maybe upright in your pocket. You don't have to worry about reloading your air pressure, and you can fire them off a little quicker. This gun, so your power loads go in here. Your dart actually goes in this part here. So this flips open, and your dart goes in here. You wiggle that in there and you're almost ready to go. You'll close that up and you'll pull back your bolt. Your power load will come into the chamber, push it in, and now you're ready to go. This gun as well has a safety and a fire on it. So flip that ahead and you're ready. This gun, so this is a 196 model number. It's a cartridge fire and it's got open sights. Similar to this gun with open sights, other than this is your pneumatic version. There is a gun, it's called a 389. It's a cartridge fire, but it's got a red dot scope on it. So we sold a few of those. I feel like that goes more to producers that have bigger groups. They maybe can't get as close to their animals as some of our cow-calf producers can. Yeah, it's just a little bit different version. So with the scope comes a bit higher price. Any questions?
How much is that one with the scope?
With the scope is around $1,410. Yeah. So your scope adds about $100 of value. This model here is about $1,310, and then this is $810. So, yeah. I think they're a wonderful tool for your farm. I've had a lot of producers that have purchased guns. They come in and they say it's just treating on pasture was such a stressful part of their day before. They just needed to go home and either get the partner on the farm that was good at treating. This is an option where you can pick it up quick, and now you can do everything. That one person, you don't need years of experience to maybe be treating. A little bit quicker turnaround time. So.
Are there refillable darts?
Not that I know of. So your packs of darts, there's 5 in a pack. Depending on where you're getting them, and the size of them, they're gonna range, ours at the store range anywhere from $44.50 a pack for your smaller darts to $48.50. So.
Pack with how many?
5.
With the Metadart, so it's like a crossbow, those needles are refillable, but it's a bit more tricky to use than a gun. You have to be a bit more accurate with that, and the distance.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got, once somebody buys one, usually a neighbor will borrow it. It doesn't take long before a neighbor also has one, so they're a very handy tool. And it seems like, yeah, the dart price maybe seems a bit steep, but watching an animal get taken down because they were left for an extra 4 days because you couldn't get around to them or couldn't get close enough, that's costly as well.
And what sizes 2 ml to 10?
Yeah. Yeah. So your needle length, we'll do a lot of 3/4 inch needles, I would say, people buy. We do offer the full range of 1/2 inch needles. There's an option for inch long needles. We haven't really got into stocking those. We have seen in our store some tri-port needles as well. So the end has a hole in it, and then it's got 2 holes on either side of the needle. I think it's just probably for better, like it disperses better when it's injected. Would that be of benefit, do you think, Dr. Tanya?
I think it would, and I guess, Joel, I was gonna ask a question about, have you had any feedback from clients about like how long does it take when the dart hits for it to inject its 10 mLs? Like what keeps it in?
They're on the
thing that melts, or?
yeah, so I think it's a collagen collar. Our practice darts that I have here, that's why there's no, they don't have it on them, but there's a collagen collar, and it just holds it into the animal, and then its heat kind of softens it up, and then your needle falls out.
What age are the needles?
I'll have to look at a pack of real ones.
Is it
14? Okay.
Is it 14?
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be any issues getting even thicker product through.
Yeah.
When I say thicker, I'm thinking something like Restore. Solaris is less thick than Restore. And of course, those are higher volume dosing too. And then while we're on the topic of needle length, I forgot to mention in my presentation about, I think that the darts can be useful for if you have to tranquilize an animal, take them down to do something more in depth. And we must use a long enough needle to get it intramuscular, so I would think a 1 inch rod semi-straight in, perpendicular to the neck would be the way to get it in.
Yeah. And for dosage in that, what would you be expecting to use?
Yeah, if we're using Bronchen on a rank animal, 5 to 7 cc's, and then we might add in a couple of other medications. So typically, the Trent guns that I used to use, 7 cc's was the maximum size dart, and we could make a concoction that would take down a bull. A fairly quiet one. Tranquilizers really only work best if the animal is not worked up before you give it to them.
And you can mix those drugs in that dart.
Pardon?
You can mix the drugs
Oh,
in the
yes,
dart?
yes,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not-
fine?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
3 drugs as a combo.
Okay. Yeah. One thing I've noticed with treating with the longbow versus treating with this method is when you're hitting them with that arrow, I didn't have the compound, or like the crossbow, we have the longbow. So it felt like when you hit that animal, they do not like it. And then they've got this 4-foot arrow flopping around beside them. This dart, they don't really even notice. Lots of times I would just get them from the gator, drive by them, put out some grain, maybe fool around. They don't even really know they've been treated. And then this is just all that's hanging from them. So it's even the animals around them, it's not really moving that much when they're moving, whereas those big long arrows seem to really get whipping with every movement they make. These just kind of hang there, so.
Then you gotta wait and follow them around and find it afterwards.
Yeah, and you'd think you could find that arrow. No. So I've had some cows, because we have some pretty quiet animals on our farm, and shoot them with this and then walk up to them after and pull it out. But I would say that collar holds it in there pretty good. I would just let it fall on its own. They didn't really like that part.
Are there any other questions for Jewel?